Hi friends, thanks again for jumping on this week to Thursday's Toolbox training. Was Tuesday, but again, we moved to Thursday due to Juju's schedule because her life rules mine. So here we are. Thank you guys for attending tonight's training. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the basics of sponsoring. I'm going to try to just kind of touch on each little topic and then move from there, because a lot of us have heard the things that we're talking about tonight, but are we applying them? That's the difference maker, being a doer of the word, like the Bible says, but being a doer of what we're actually sitting here listening to. Let me mute. Okay. All right. So the very first thing that I want to touch on is being authentic. Your friends, your followers, your family know if you are being yourself. You cannot be me. I cannot be you. None of us can be Wendy. We have our own personality, right? So if I jump on, let me give you an example, and I can do this because she's my friend. If I jump on and I'm like, so glad you're here. You guys would be like, what the hell is she on? Because that's not my normal personality. If Wendy got on here and was like, hey guys, how are you? I'm glad you guys were able to make it. More so my style, you'd be like, oh my God, is Wendy okay? Right? So we know when we're looking at someone and they're not being their authentic self. And why do I start with that? I start with being your authentic self because if you're trying to portray something you're not, then the people that know you and the people that are watching you are not going to trust you. You're like, oh my God, I guess she's this different person when it comes to Scentsy, because she's not like that in real life. They're not going to listen to what you have to say. They're not going to pay attention to what you're posting because they haven't bought into this Scentsy version of you. If you know me, you know I am the same in every atmosphere, except if it's a big group of people, you'll see that I retreat. I'm not a spotlight on me. Hi, Miguel. I'm not a spotlight on me. Talk to everybody, be the loudest one in the room type of person. I think, Miguel, you noticed this, right? When we were in Utah, like if there's a big room, I retreat. I'll be there and I'll say hello and I greet people and I talk to people. I think, Aida, you've seen this in Utah. My mom knows this of me, but that's the only difference you'll see in me. And I feel more comfortable when I'm in front of a camera than if you're face to face with me. I'm kind of like, oh, hi, a little bit more nervous. It's funny. People think that I'm a natural extrovert, but I'm not. I'm an introvert. Okay. So let's talk about, okay, so now you're your authentic self, right? Check yourself, because I can't check yourself. You cannot check me. Only you know if you're acting funny, not the way that you are as a person. Let's talk about what we are putting out there for these people now to see for our authentic self, right? What is your passion? Too many times we are just seeing these flyers. Yes, and Canva's great. I love Canva. It's one of my favorite things to do. We're making the flyers our own. We're getting creative. Okay, great. But what is our passion? Passion attracts passion. If you are passionate about the community that Scentsy brings, why aren't you sharing that more? Like Miguel just shared a post of the events that we were at, and then we photoshopped him in at other ones. And he loves community. Miguel will be at everything and anything he possibly can. So he should, and he does, share about community. And guess what? What do I mean by passion attracts passion? Whoever is craving community and seeing how much fun Miguel is having, oh my God, I want something like that. That is what he's going to attract. If we're only posting flyers, that's not touching the heartstrings of people, right? So we have to start targeting our passion area and go in hard there. Mine is not community. I love meeting, new people, and I love getting together with you guys. That's one of the perks. But my passion is the freedom that comes from this business. So what do I share? most of the time, that it's flexible. I can work from the softball field. I can work here. I can take days off. I can have the freedom to travel with my daughter for softball, right? I share a lot about that. That's my passion. And guess what? I have a lot of softball mom followers, and that has been dinging, right? Oh my gosh, Rihanna, you're so lucky you get to work and watch your daughter. You don't have to like call out for games and stuff like that. You don't have to try to get the days off when you go to Colorado. Hello. That's a passion that parents want to have. They want to have the freedom to travel with their kids. So that's what I mean by passion attracts passion. What are you passionate about? Put it in the chat. I would love to see that. There's tons of perks. Maybe your passion is getting free stuff because you don't want to pay for it anymore. Maybe you are passionate about that. Maybe you're passionate about, it's so much deeper than the paycheck though, guys. You can say paycheck, and there's some of us in it for the money. Yes, this is my livelihood. I get paid through Scentsy, but that's not my passion. I can go anywhere and get paid, maybe not as much as I do here, but I can still go get a paycheck, but I'm not passionate about that. Put it in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys are passionate about, okay? So there's nothing wrong with flyers. There is absolutely nothing wrong with them, especially nothing wrong with them if you're making them your own and getting creative like we have been. But we need to start targeting, hyper-focusing on our passion. I want you guys to put in the chat. I don't know if it's delayed or you guys are just not doing it. I'm like, when I say put it in the chat, I really want you guys to put it in the chat. Christina said community and freedom. Yes, and Christina is a mama of 3, and 2 of them happen to be twins. She's been able to help her husband pay the mortgage or the car payment. Teresa said passionate that she's creating an extra savings account and free and half off, and the community. These things, Christina, whatever you've attended so far, start blasting that. Start posting about that nonstop. I don't care if it's the same image talking about something different with a different background. The freedom, show yourself out there midday with your kids or at the dance concerts, whatever you guys are going to, show yourself there and talk about that freedom. And Teresa, show that when you get paid, talk about that extra savings account, because you're going to ding some people's brains and to pull some heartstrings. Miguel's passionate about the extra income. What do you do with that extra income, Miguel? Show that when you use it and talk about that, because there's lots of people that can use extra income right now. That's for sure. Irene said freedom to work as much or as little as I want or can. That's huge, Irene, especially with the objection, I'm too busy, right? We hear that all the time. Oh no, girl, I can't. I'm too busy. My schedule's too full. And I'm like, okay, well, so am I. I'm busy too, but I'm making money and I work when I want to. Nobody is my boss. I'm my own boss. I know it sounds cliche because everybody's like, be your own boss. But for real, Scentsy is like that. Every single thing we have to do is optional. Everything to do is optional, other than putting your 200 in once a year, right? You don't want to go for goals, you don't have to. You want to go for higher income, work your tail off. You're not too worried about money this month, back off, right? And that's something that you should be sharing nonstop, Irene, especially with that huge objection that's always out there. I'm too busy for it. I love that. Okay, so passion attracts passion. What is Scentsy doing for you at this moment is something that we should be talking about. I should see you guys taking a screenshot of tonight's training call and say I have the freedom or the ability to sit at home in my own home and get training to build my business. Something like that. What is Scentsy doing for you? There's other companies, but you got to go attend trainings. You got to pay for trainings. You got to pay for mentorship. Ours is free. So that should be something that Scentsy is doing for you right now. Christina, you're able to help your husband pay car or mortgage. I wasn't sure what you said last month, but talk about that. Talk about what Scentsy is doing for you right now. Maybe you didn't have friends before Scentsy, and talk about that, okay? Share, who here has a team? I think everybody does. I think everybody here has a team right now. And I was saying earlier, we're going to have our leadership call right after this on a different link. I understand if you guys can't be on for it because it's 2 hours back to back, right? But I say that to say this. How often are we sharing our love for our team and our people's success? Do we repost when somebody shares something and tags us? Are we shouting them out on our page, on our Instagram? Are we tagging them on their Facebook homepage? Not a lot of jobs out there celebrate you for just being amazing, right? For succeeding, even at the smallest things. I'm so proud of so-and-so for going live. When you post a picture of your team, you can post a picture of if you haven't had a team meeting yet, you can just grab their Facebook profile, slap them on an Instagram post, and say, I'm building such an amazing team. I'm so proud of my team, something like that. Why? Because people want to choose a sponsor that celebrates their team. How many of us know a sponsor that doesn't even touch their team? I know plenty. They don't celebrate their team. They're not present. They don't train. They're nowhere to be found to the end of the earth until it's last couple of days before the month closes to make sure they got their numbers, right? Because look, a lot of us have some same friends, especially if you're in Whittier. Jesus Christ, we have like 50 million TVs here. But where do we stand out? How are they going to choose you over me? If I'm saying I'm celebrating, if I'm shouting out Miguel, if I'm shouting out Irene, if I'm shouting out Christina and singing their praises and applauding and high fives, do you think they're going to go for you or they're going to go for me? Not you, I'm not pointing like you, I'm saying, are they gonna go for an inconsistent person that they're not even sure takes Scentsy serious, or are they gonna go with somebody that's every day talking about their business, uplifting their teamies and so forth, right? They're gonna go for somebody that they're gonna feel supported by. Start talking about your teamies. You may say, well, my teamies don't do anything, you know what? You can still shout them out. Hey, maybe that'll nudge them. Say you have teamies that don't do anything, right? Post the pictures and say, I'm so blessed to start building a team, and you could tag them. That might nudge them like, oh, I am part of a team. Oh, I do feel part of something, or it doesn't. But others that are watching you are seeing that you are proud of your team and you are present for them. Does that make sense? Start shouting out your team, even if they're not doing anything. It doesn't have to be a fake shout out. It doesn't have to be something fake, but you can just say, I'm building something special and I'd love to have you part. You know, something like that. Okay. When is the last time you shared your perks of Scentsy? How about your host rewards? When's the last time you submitted your order? You can take a picture. I'm so excited. I just got $230 of product for free, however much it was. Take a screenshot of your order. Then when it comes in, do either a live unboxing or a picture of what you got. Why? Because people want to see. People are visual. They hear you say, oh, you get free rewards. Come into Scentsy and get free rewards, free and half off, free and half off, right? Why not show them and keep putting in their face? There's some people that are watching, and most of the time, if anybody could vouch, they don't say nothing until they say something. They're watching you, and then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, I was thinking about joining your team, and you're like, what the heck? I never even heard from you. I didn't even know you see my stuff. You don't like my post, you don't comment, but now I've been watching you. They're watching. The interested ones are watching, but they're waiting because they're appeasing their curiosity, right? So if you guys are submitting an order soon, oh, Monday, right? I'm sure a lot of us have Monday orders going in. If we're closing any parties, if we're doing any type of thing that are going to show our rewards, even if you're putting in orders and you're still letting them accumulate, you can say, oh my gosh, look at my rewards racking up, and take a screenshot of that and post it. And then when you get your rewards in, Teresa said she watched me for a long time. I didn't even know Teresa was interested until she told me, because she didn't like, oh, I was interested, or she didn't ask me questions or anything. Take a picture. My neighbor is rocking out. Take a picture of your rewards and show them, do a live unboxing, you guys. I'm telling you, these perks are going to nudge somebody. How about incentives? Miguel, you're going hard for that duffel bag, right? When is the last time you posted about it? Have you? And that's okay if you haven't. People love incentives, and some are incentive driven. I know Miguel is incentive driven by this duffel bag, right?
Yes, I want that bag.
So post about it. You don't have to, please don't do this. Please don't say, help me win this bag, or earn this bag. Please don't do that. Post about it and say, there's certain, like something about, I love how Scentsy incentivizes us. I'm so excited. I'm going for this bag. I can't wait to get this. Something like that, because some people are incentive driven and they're looking for something in life to drive them to greatness. Some people need that. So maybe you're going to start touching on points like that, Miguel. Try doing that, because I'm sure that's a sexy bag. If somebody sees that, they're like, damn, Scentsy gives gifts like that. Yes, they do. That backpack is sharp as heck. I use it all the time, right? The backpack we just earned. And talk about that and show the incentive. Do they know you earned SFR for free? Do they know you're going on Bahama, Jamaica, Haiti cruise in less than 30 days? Yes, they do, because I'm nonstop talking about it and I'm poking at people. I had a person message me like, Rihanna, like, I see you post all these trips. They're all free. You win them? I said, no, girl, I did not win them. I earned them. And yes, they're completely free, 100% covered from start to finish. I'm like, oh my God, I'm interested in that. I only travel with softball. Girl, me too. That's why I'm working so hard every year, because we don't travel unless it's through Scentsy, unless we go softball. That's what we're doing. Okay. Talk about the incentive we're in right now. The bag is the current thing. Talk about the recognition. Every single thing that we get, we should be posting a picture of. When I send you those emails, if you're in top 20, top 10, top 50, whatever I send, screenshot. I know Miguel does this. Screenshot it and show the recognition. Not because I need you to tag me. You don't even have to tag me. You just show the recognition so that these people can see, dang, Miguel's doing really good and he's getting shouted out by his upline. Like, that's pretty freaking cool. It's an email. Does it cost me anything? No, it's free. We should be doing the same thing with our teamies. But I'm taking the time to recognize you guys, and people are craving that. People are craving recognition as simple as an email. When you get the little beads in the mail, when you get the little postcards that Scentsy sends for sales and Shooting Star, take a picture and post it. I know Jamie Flores just did hers. I don't keep mine. I don't keep my cards. Once I take a picture, I toss them. But I post them because it's recognition, and people are craving recognition. Do you guys keep your cards? I did in the beginning, and then it was like stacking up, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with this stuff, right? And I feel bad, but I'm just like, I do keep my little charms. I keep them in a whiskey glass that I'm filling out. I'm gonna make something out of it. I don't know what though. Take a picture of that stuff and post it, okay? You might say, what does this have to do with sponsoring? All of this is telling a story of what it's like to be in Scentsy. It's not just selling, posting, buy my stuff, launching Monday. It's about something that fulfills bigger to the human needs and soul, community, freedom, paychecks, traveling. This is deeper than just warmers and wax, okay? That's what this has to do with sponsoring. It cannot be all about us. And this is where I can tie back to, if you are not present with your current team, guess what? You can fix that. You can still fix it. Start tomorrow, start tonight when you get off this call, and text them and reach out and just check on them. If you are only sponsoring to hit your goals, to achieve your, me, I, mine, you're gonna miss something, and you're not gonna be able to retain your group. If you don't show up for trainings, if you don't do trainings, if you don't recognize and do all the part that's behind the scenes of sponsoring, your team will leave as quick as they came. And they're still going to leave anyways, to be honest. Like, there's some that are going to stay, and there's some that are just going to filter through. But if you create a community of love and inclusion and encouragement, then they're more likely to stay, even if for the community. And I'll say this, I have people in our group, in my team, in my frontline, that attend a lot of things, but they don't work much. They put in their 200 PRV to stay active, but they're about the community. And that's why they stay. They're not in it to get rich, to quit their job for the freedom or anything like that. They just want the community. So they put their $200 in once a year, but they attend every single meeting and every single training. And that works for them, okay? It can't be all about us. Sponsoring is different from leading, and we'll talk about that in the next training. Just because you sponsor people doesn't mean you're leading anybody, right? Let me just say this. And I'm not saying this to jab, and I'm not saying this to anything, just take it with love. If you are struggling with consistent PRV, you need to take a pause. I need to focus on PRV, partying, and building a consistent customer base. Why do I say that? Before jumping into sponsorship, you can still sponsor, that's fine, okay. If you are on this call, I'm assuming you want to build a team, and that's beautiful, and I love it. It brings longevity, and it brings what's the word I'm looking for? Big business. If you are struggling with your PRV, you need to take a seat and do all the trainings on PRV, watch all the YouTube, watch all the Sensi trainings, and increase your PRV consistently. Because if you are adding all of these people that are currently your customers, you are going to exhaust your customer base. Now you're not going to have any sales, and you're going to have nothing to show your team because you don't know how to get PRV. So how are you going to show your team that, right? Our entire business, before sponsoring, before coaching, starts with PRV, high PRV, meeting new people. That means you have a bigger pool to pull from, right? We talked about this last week when we talked about PRV. If you are struggling with PRV, give yourself grace, put this training, and I say that with all respect, put this training on the shelf. When we're done, don't leave right now, hear what I have to say. Put this training on the shelf and then go back to PRV and you hyper focus on that. Building consistently and building your customer base back up, because you're going to get yourself in a world of trouble if you recruit all your customers because you're excited about sponsoring, because sponsoring is the best, and you're going to have no customers left, right? Do you get what I mean, guys? I want to make sure you guys understand. I'm not telling you not to sponsor, but I'm telling you, if you can do both, I suggest you hyper focus on PRV and then kind of nudge sponsoring. If you cannot do both at the same time, I suggest you sit at PRV until you increase to a consistency. And a consistency, I would say, okay, I would say a consistent 500. Why? If you are sponsoring over and over and you're bringing all these people, but you're not hitting your 500, you're not doing anything for yourself, for your business, because you're not getting paid on anybody. You might say, well, I do it for the love. Okay, do it for the love, but how are you loving your team if you can't show them how to get PRV? Oh, I can show them how to sponsor. Okay, so you're going to show them how to sponsor, then what? They're not getting paid at title. They're not building people that are strong in sales. So now you're creating a weak chain. Does that make sense? We have to be able to be trained in PRV and know how to get creative. We're going to have slow months, guys, where we're like, dang, it was a really tough month. But if that's more often than not, then we have to stay at PRV for a minute and revisit. And in all transparency, The last 3 months, I think I shared this, I don't know where, PRV training probably. The last 3 months, I didn't sponsor anybody before this month because I needed to rebuild my customer base. Life took my feet out from under me for the past 3 months. And I had to focus to get back. I'm like, okay, I have to rebuild my customer base. I have to focus there. I cannot bring anybody else in right now while I'm here. I need to build back up, and then I'm going to hyper focus on sponsoring, which is now this month. Okay. I hope that makes sense. If you continue to bring people in and you're not present and you don't have the PRV and you're not present on things that we'll talk about in the leadership page at 7, you are doing both yourself and your new teamie a disservice because you're not giving them what it takes to have a successful start because you're not doing it yourself. So how can you show them how to do it? Right? Oh, my eyes went blurry. Okay, so having high PRV is going to give you a bigger pool of people to pull from. And it means that you have a healthy customer base and a steady customer base. So that's going to keep your pool growing, right? I already touched on that. I want to talk about that again. A realistic PRV. A realistic PRV. Sabrina, welcome. Sabrina is our newest teamie. She reinstated. I'm so excited that you're here. A realistic PRV, reality is different in everybody's eyes. But if you're going to sponsor and you want to get the benefits of sponsoring, I would say 500 PRV is the minimum you should go for. Otherwise, you have a bunch of people in your group that you're not getting paid on. You're working for free, basically. Sponsoring takes time, guys. It takes a lot of time. And I mean that in the beginning end, and I mean that in the middle end, and we haven't even seen the end because we're not ending, we're just keeping going, right? Sponsoring is like seeds. There's a planting season, right? Where we go out and we're planting seed. Then there's a harvest, a watering season, and we're watering, and I'm going to emphasize right now. And then there's a harvesting season where they start to say, oh, I want to join, and oh, hey, and you're like, yes, hallelujah, all the work that I've been doing is paying off. Because sometimes we feel like it's not working. It's not working. Everything I'm doing isn't working. I'm trying everything. Nobody wants to join. I hate that phrase, by the way. I hate it. Like, it makes me cringe. Nobody wants to join. Nobody wants to buy. I get we have tough seasons, but keep planting. Doesn't mean they don't want to. They just aren't doing it yet. People are watching, like I said before, and they're waiting to see if we're taking this serious. If you're new to Scentsy, and maybe you've done some direct sales before, maybe you started something that you haven't finished before. I think we've all kind of been there, but people are watching. They're watching our journey. They're watching what we post. They're watching what and this is why I said what we share in the beginning is so important. People know that I love what I do. Why? Because I'm constantly talking about it and sharing about it. I'm planting seed. Does that mean they see the post that I posted when I went away for my retreat? Does that mean I was supposed to get a reaction right away? Hey, Rihanna, I love that community post. I want to join. No, that was just a seed and a watering for what I've done before, right? Like I said before, be authentic, share your rewards, show how Scentsy is helping you right now at this point. Every month, I am sitting down, and I got this from Katie Lassiter, SSD Katie Lassiter. She's one of my favorite people. Every month during end of month, I sit there and I print out my customer orders from that current month. okay? And I sit there and I highlight the ones that have made multiple purchases. That is who I'm going to reach out to join the next month. And I'm going to do, remember those inserts that I showed you guys that said you would have made this on that purchase? I make those for them. And then I send them out some mail in a forever stamp. And I'll say, girl, you would have made this. And then they're like, oh my God, Rihanna, like, okay, that, you know, it's just something that I sit and do. So I have a plan for the next month. I encourage you guys to do that at end of month this month. Have quick, easy, clear conversations to where you're not word vomiting on everybody. Oh, hey, you mentioned this happened today, actually. I posted, I don't know if you guys seen, get this for $60 or the poll, or pay me back for this purchase or something like that, right? Whatever the wording was that I put, and put it in a poll in regards to the bundle that's launching on Monday. I had a girl respond, what do you mean get paid back to buy this? I could have vomited all over her, right? But I didn't. I said, hey girl, you love Scentsy as much as me, as much as you buy, which she does, as much as you buy, you get paid on this, join before Monday and buy that for yourself. On Monday, you get paid back. So she's like, oh, really? And I'm like, it's $25 to join. This is what you get. It's worth it. It's already worth more than what you're paying. Let me know if you're interested. She's like, oh my gosh, let me talk to my husband tonight. It's always let me talk to my husband. And I'm like, girl, make a decision on your own. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. Anyways, but this is what I mean. Like, make it clean, simple, easy. Oh, if you vomit on her, she's going to be overwhelmed and be like, oh, forget it. I don't want to do that. Right? Watch for prompts. When you're talking to your customers and you're communicating with your customers, watch for those prompts. And what do I mean the prompts? Somebody says, oh my gosh, I am now addicted. Ding, that's a prompt. Girl, we can start buying this for yourself, get paid back. I don't have to be middleman. Oh my gosh, all my friends came to my house and they loved it. Ding, what does that say? She has a customer base now, right? They love it. She could start selling to her friends. That is a light bulb moment. What are other things that you hear? Teresa, I'm just seeing your thing that said smile real quick so I could take a screenshot. You're so cute. What are other things that are prompts? I hate having to go to work. Here I go, going to work 8 hours a day. Now here's where this kind of gets a little bit tricky for me. I don't lead ever with quit your job. I don't lead with stay home, work from home, quit your job type of thing. I don't lead with that. But when I do talk to people and I have genuine conversations, I say, look, this didn't start like this for me. It did take time and work, but if it's something that you want to do, make a side hustle and maybe work up from there, I'll show you how. I'll show you what I did, and maybe it'll work out for you too. But I don't ever tell somebody, you could quit your job and start making money. You should quit your job tomorrow. If you join today, you can quit your job tomorrow. No way ever in the history of ever is that smart to tell somebody to do. Because it's a long journey, as you guys know, to get to be successful. Keep it simple. We have to get comfortable with hearing no and being ghosted. I mean, we've all been ghosted, right? We were talking to somebody, then all of a sudden we mentioned Scentsy, and it's like, cricket. I'm like, hello, I was just talking to you, but that's okay. That's normal. Some people just don't know how to respond with a no, thank you, I'm okay. They get uncomfortable, but don't let them stay uncomfortable. Just keep having a normal conversation. If you have a healthy customer base and you have high PRV, congratulations to you, first of all, because that's great. You're working your business, but don't be a PRV hog. Share the blessing. If somebody's spending a lot of money every month and you're like, well, I don't want to invite them to be a consultant because that's going to take my sales. Guys, that sales is only for that month. But once you start adding teamies, they're going to be a great customer for the most part. And that's consistent income versus where she just buys maybe $200 shot and then she's gone. $200 shot and then she's gone, right? Don't hog your customers and don't block their blessing. If they buy a lot or if they're buying consistently, we should be offering them, especially this month, the $25 opportunity. Okay. They're thinking about it. Our best customers, and I talked to Miguel about this the other day, our best customer, and most of the time they're going to say no to begin with, because number one, they told me, I don't want to lose you as a consultant. You spoil me, girl. And I'm just like, I'll spoil you as a consultant as well. You know, so I always have some type of, well, not always, I think there's been twice where I didn't have a comeback. I'm like, oh, what is wrong with me? Rihanna, where are you? So I was just like, girl, I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Then there's, then you just go to the next best customer and go from there. But keep it simple. Reach out to them. And then let them talk to you back. Don't assume that they're going to say no because they said no last month. Do we want to ask them 28 times in a month? No, we don't. Please don't. I ask mine once a month. I'm not kidding. My best customers say, are you ready yet? The other day on March 1st, it was March 6th when the Epcot collection came out. She's actually very excited about it. She's a big Disney fan. I said, hey, so are you ready to just jump in and get this for free now? It's because we built this, not for free, for get paid back on this now. And we had that communication because we talk about it and we talk about how much she buys, and that's just the rapport that we build. That's why it's important to build relationships with our customers and not just have a subtotal with tax. Shipping is here. Thank you very much. See you again later. We're not a liquor store. We are not a department store. We are a relational business. So I encourage you to really build a relationship and a good rapport with your customers. Get to know their family, like them on Facebook, comment on Instagram, be part of their world so that you're part of theirs and they feel comfortable enough to have conversations with you. Okay. Trust me, they're thinking about it. They're thinking about when Miguel posted his community. There's somebody out there watching you, Miguel, saying, "Team, that looks really fun." They're posting when Irene is bagging up her mystery bags and talking about them and showing them. They're looking at Fran's Canva posts and her dances and all the stuff she gets creative with on Instagram. They're watching that and they're seeing that she's having fun and they want that type. They're seeing Fanny out there at her events, meeting new people and getting to talk to people. Everything that we're doing, you guys, they're watching and they're interested. Share everything. I'm not kidding. Share everything. Have a conversation every day until you get comfortable having those conversations. Why do I say that? If we are saying, I'm asking everybody, are we really having at least one conversation a day? And you may say, well, I ran out of people. I don't have that many people to have a conversation with every day. Go have a coffee at Starbucks. Sit there with your laptop if you have the time or the freedom or whatever. Sit there with your laptop, your phone, whatever. Say hello to people. Have some circle samples there with you. Make some goodie bags. Have a plan. If you know you're off tomorrow and you're going to sit your tail on the couch and do nothing and say you've done everything to get a new teammate, guess what? You haven't. And that's just, I'm saying that with love, because there's days where I'm like feeling sorry for myself and I'm just like, oh, my sales this month are so hard. Was that Josh, Irene? Hi, Josh. There are days when I will sit there and I'm like, oh, I'm struggling on my PRV. Last month, for example, was a tough month for me. But I was on the couch and I'm like, dang, dude, like I'm asking so many people and nobody want to buy this month. And I was just like, Rihanna, you've done the minimum. Stop. Like, you've done the minimum. Okay, you've done what you've been doing, and guess what? That's not working this month. So you have to get creative. I checked myself, and that's what we have to do sometimes. You have to pull ourselves out of our pity party of one, and we have to go in and make ourselves, if you know you're off tomorrow and you have anything in your reach, scent circles, felt samples, business cards, whatever it is, your kids are at school tomorrow. Most of you have kids, right? Oh, I have to wash, I have to clean. Yes, we have house duties, but guess what? They're going to be there when you get out. When the kids get out of school, when you get out of work, when you get out of your pity party, all that is going to be there still. Take 15 minutes, jump, go post yourself at McDonald's, at Starbucks, wherever you want, grab a donut. Maybe you don't have money for anything extra, don't. Go sit there and just people watch, pretend you're on your laptop or actually do some work, whatever. Go on social media to update some stuff, but put yourself where people are. If you're not having a conversation a day, that means you probably ran out of people or you're just not working. For me in February, I was just doing the minimum and calling it work. That was the bare minimum, okay? I still reached my goals, but I didn't. I could have done more. If you find yourself at a place where you lost your customer base or they're running dry, you have to act now. And you might be like, well, why is she talking about customer base and we're talking about sponsoring? Again, remember, it ties in. You will run out of a pool if you do not do this. Some of us are there now. Some of us have gotten in that spot, and that's okay. Just get it back because we can, but we have to take effort. You have to act. We cannot sit on these calls and just show up. We could be doing anything else, right? We have to be able to meet people, but we have to go out to meet people. You don't have to get all dressed up. Shoot, I go out like this. This is me every day in a hoodie and a hat for the most part. I go about my day, but I am equipped to meet people because I know that my business is going to die if I do not meet more people. That's how crucial it is. If we do not keep our customer base growing, our business will die. Okay? If we want to recruit, if we want to sponsor, that's going to bring longevity. It's going to create big business for consistent sponsoring. It starts with PRV, starts with partying. I know a lot of people don't want shopping links right now. They don't want a party. They don't want a home party, a Facebook party, a text party. They don't want any kind of party. They want you to stop asking if they want a party, right? But there's still people out there that do. And I found one in my customer base because I kept talking about it. And she's like, hey, Rihanna, I'm gonna have a home party. And I'm like, yes. One home party can catapult your business. And I'm super excited about this home party coming up because she's like, oh, my mom and her friends want to come and I'm bringing some people for my job. That reach that I'm going to have exposure to that day is going to, if I handle that right, if I prepare, if I go in like I'm hungry for more customers, it starts with one party, then just keep going from there. You have to ask. It starts with us asking, right? Does anybody have any questions? Let me go back. Tracy said she's passionate about good smelling house for not just myself, but for others. Yes, Tracy. Have you ever walked in somebody's house and you're like, ooh, but they don't smell it because they're nose blind to it now, and you can't go in there and be like, dude, your house smells. Here's some Scentsy. But you can talk about it on your social media, and you could talk about being nose blind. You could talk about having dogs. Some people have dog pee house and they don't even realize it, right? But you could talk about it and don't tag anybody. Be like, girl, when I went in your house, it smelled like this. No, don't say that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can subliminally say that. Let's see. I have to, oh, Christina had to go. She had to go to school. My thing is trying to introduce it to those who never heard of it. That is my favorite part, Sabrina. Introducing Scentsy to those who have never heard about it. I wear this hat everywhere I go. I need a new one. It's actually faded. I wear it everywhere I go. So sometimes I'm like, oh, you're a Scentsy girl? I need a Scentsy girl. My Scentsy girl stopped selling. How many times do we hear that? Right? Excuse me. Or we find the ones that are like, when I give them a scent circle, because I'm always having conversations, I'm like, oh, can I give you this gift for my fragrance business? And they're like, oh, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's Scentsy. Have you ever heard of Scentsy? No, I've never heard of Scentsy. Girl, I'm about to blow your mind right now. Scentsy is a fragrance company that is a safer alternative to candles because we melt fragrance wax with light bulb instead of flame, so it's safer for your baby. There's a baby. Or it's safe for your dog. There's a dog. I'm looking. I'm aware, and I'm just like, oh, it's safer. It's vegan. If I'm in like the Beehive here in Whittier, it's like all vegan and healthy food, and I'm like, oh, it's vegan friendly. It's vegan safe. It's gluten free. I'm ready. If you need to educate yourself on what Scentsy is safe in, then I suggest you do that so you can shoot you could just flow, right? And once they say, oh, well, that's awesome, do you have a catalog? And I'm like, yeah. And I always have the QR code for the digital flip catalog because, like I said at the beginning of the year, I'm not doing a bunch of catalogs sending out and costing me hundreds of dollars for them to sit on the counters of people or get tossed or never opened, right? I do give them to my customers that are my better selling customers, and I'll leave some at the doctors and stuff like that. But I always have this QR code with me in my little family pack. I'm like, yeah, girl, I have a digital flip catalog. Scan this right now when you can, and I'll say, what's your phone number? I'll send it to you right now. Ding, I have their phone number for the contact. When you can, let me know, but I'll follow up with you in a couple of days to see what your thoughts are. Okay, so I'm saying all that, and I'm like, hey, I post a lot about Scentsy on my Instagram. If you want to see more about it, I post a lot of product and I talk about how to use it and stuff. So follow me on Instagram right now, and then they follow me on Instagram. Ding, now I have a new follower that's going to be seeing my stuff. So being able to talk about the product is very important. If you don't have the product training guide, get it off the internet tonight, off of Workstation. You could get it for free. You could download it into PDF onto your computer, or you could print it and study that baby and watch how you flow when you start talking about it if you haven't already. Let's see. I'm doing the goodie bags for an event for 111 ladies for next weekend, and I'm like, yikes, but oh yeah, you are doing a big event, Fran. Events are a great way to meet people. Fani said they're very forgiving if you mess up and can laugh about it together. Yes, girl, nobody knows when we mess up. We're more worried about saying the right thing than they are, right? So just flow. Teresa's doing her very first party with her friends, super excited. Sabrina says the same thing, trying to, I freaking love it, but everyone else probably thinks I'm being pushy sales. Don't think about that. Unless you think you sound pushy, then check yourself. But if you think you're just sharing and did I sound pushy right now when I was talking about it? When I told you guys how I talk to new people? Okay, I don't feel like I sounded pushy. I hope I didn't sound pushy, but that's how I flow, like a normal human being. I present myself as talking to somebody, a friend that I know will love it if they get it in their house. I am not presenting a commercial. Well, let me talk to you about what Scentsy is. Scentsy was created in 2004 by Orville. Well, it wasn't actually created by him. It was purchased in 2004 by Orville and Heidi. And then they had a goat farm that they turned into, no, we're just sharing what we know, what we love. Let it flow. You got that. Sabrina's got this beautiful classic warmer that she just showed me. I'm like, girl, you need an updated one. And she was like, it's one of the ones, Sabrina, how long ago was it that you were part? She shared that with me on Instagram or text. But yeah, so if you guys don't have any other questions, do you guys have any other questions on anything I've shared on sponsoring, being authentic, loving your team, sharing everything you do? Your high PRV sitting on a shelf for a second. If not, this will be available to replay for yourself and or your teams on my YouTube page. Here's my suggestion, and this is going to tie into what's next for leadership. I'm going to jump on a leadership call right now. If you have a team and you don't see them on here tonight, I encourage you, hey, let's do a watch party on whatever day works for you guys. Rewatch this if you found it helpful. If you didn't find it helpful, okay, fine. But if you found it helpful, do a watch party with them or send them a link and say, hey, watch this when you can and let me know. If you have people on your team that are thinking of sponsoring, because guess what? If we're leaders, we should be teaching our teams how to sponsor as well. And it won't just be us building, it'll be a group of people building. Okay, and that's when we find big business happens. All right, guys, so does it look like any other questions? I'm going to get ready for my leadership meeting at 7. If you are a leader and you can attend, jump on that Zoom. That's on the Leading the Squad page. If you're not on Leading the Squad page, request to be added to it. We're going to start at 7 o'clock. Go get a drink, go get coffee, go get a snack, whatever. And we'll talk soon. Bye, squad. Love you.